Hey, this is Jamie with Formidable Fabrications, and behind me is my next project. So this customer brought me this bed. So it's one of those kind that slides into the truck and then it can dump. So I already knocked these out. But so the whole reason they brought this in was these wooden side rails were in here, and they were in these stake pockets. To keep them from flapping, they made them extra long, and then they end up rubbing on the bed here. Right here, there was one that was right here, and then one right here. So I literally just rubbed the paint off and dented them in. So instead of messing around with trying to fix them, we're going to do hard metal sides all the way down. So I got the metal in my truck, I just picked it up. So, and the other reason too is this thing. So this one, you can see is busted. And that toolbox, they had like built this wooden side around that toolbox. And that toolbox was literally held in with one bolt and a couple, no, it's actually two bolts, sorry, two bolts and a bunch of self-tappers. And you can kind of see that the bottom is just really trashed. So literally when you would drive, the whole thing would wiggle back and forth. And there was really only like half of a bolt holding that in, because the hole you saw is just trashed. So the whole box is trashed. The back is dented in, the top is dented in. The door is literally the only thing that is in good shape. So, and this, it's just loose. Like nothing is holding it together. It's just all busted up. So, and then while we're looking at that, the dude's like, hey, can you fix this? Can you fix this tailgate here? And I guess the little spring latch had busted once before, so they took a piece of rebar and put it in there. So, and all this thing is held on with is 4 of these spring clips, and it's not terrible, but the problem is that they never fold it up. They always fold it down like this, and these things have like worn in and made like, instead of having like a 1/2 inch hole, it's like a 3/4 inch hole now. And it's eating into the side of these things. It's just, I guess if they used it regularly on the other way, it'd be fine. But like these pins are just worn out. So I got these on order. They're supposed to be here today for the 2 tops. And for the bottom, what we're gonna do is use, where's the piece at? Right here. We're gonna use this Schedule 40 pipe. It's where is it at? It's a 1/2 inch Schedule 40. So we're going to put a piece here, like a piece on the door here, a piece in the center, another small piece here, and then another piece here. And I got a piece of 1/2 inch stock. It's a little bit, it's going to be a little loose in here, but at least it'll wear evenly, so you won't have like ridges and everything. Because right now, like literally, that hole is only 1/4 inch thick, so it's just wearing everywhere. So we're going to weld this into the bottom of here, so this tailgate's going to come out a little bit further. But I can't put the tailgate up now because of the wood. But when I put the tailgate up, it comes to like, actually you can see it comes right to there. So it's end up going to come up higher to where it's supposed to be. So anyway, so that's the lowdown. And I know the bed is, and I know the dump bed is messed up. It has like some stress cracks and some pieces in there, but for a few $100s, we can make this a lot nicer, make it look a hell of a lot better, and even a little bit more functional. Let's get this wood cut up and just get it out of here. And we're going to start building a frame of there, which is going to be, I forget what steel I got. I think it's either 1.5. I think it's actually 2 inch square tubing. It'll come over and down to make a nice flat surface to weld the steel to. So let's get going. All right, so I had to stop the camera because I got 5 calls in a row from a tax specialist saying I owe back taxes. And then before that, if you see my face, you can see how old I am, telling me that my Part A and Part B Medicare is not right and I need to get it fixed immediately. That is my freaking typical day. So I got on the phone and act like I want to get my taxes done, and then I specifically told the lady that I wanted to be taken off, and we'll see what really happens if I just get a crap ton of phone calls now. So for this angle, this piece, I'm using my fireball square right here. What we'll do is we'll put these pieces on. And you'll see that this side is covered, and essentially slides on just like that. And crap, I did this backwards. Hold on. So essentially what it's going to do is not only going to keep it square, but they're going to keep it level to each other, so they're on the same plane. I'll show you. All right, so this goes here. Let's undo this. I'm also using the Fireball quick clamps. These things are awesome. So essentially this piece goes in here, and once I clamp that and all these are lined up, then this and this are on the same plane. It's pretty, it works very well. The hard part is getting this lined up, especially with the surface I'm working on. So I just need to scoot this, because there's like a little gap here. I need to scoot this clamp this way just a hair. Once they're mated up, clamp it together, and then I'm sure that this is level with that flat plane, so when I stick it up, it's not going to be twisted at all. We'll just tap this over, just a hair. Might be an easier way to do this. I really haven't figured it out yet. All right, so that's together. So let's take you off the stand and show you. So what you're seeing is this lines up. There's no gap here. There's a slight little gap there. I'll fix that. There's no gap there. There's no gap there. That's clamped to that, that's clamped to that. So essentially, this is 90 degrees, and this is flat across the top. There's no deviation of any sort. So it's the same as just clamping a piece of steel here and a piece of steel down there to make sure that it's all on the same plane. So let me fix this little one right here. Yeah, so my last video I think was a little over a month ago, and I just haven't had a chance to film anything I've been doing. I've been on such a rush to do everything. I built a truck bed, I had to get that done. I didn't have time to mess with like a camera and try and film it. But in the meantime, I did get a bunch of new stuff. One of them is this cool Lincoln electric welding helmet. I finally pulled the trigger and spent the $400 and got this thing. And it comes with a $75 rebate that I'm just waiting for. So I got this one with the large viewing screen. All these are replaceable. So I'm used to my So the last welding helmet I got was this Yes Welder welding helmet. I just picked this up a few months ago, and I've used Yes Welder before, and honestly, this one is crap. It works, but I notice it doesn't switch fast enough when I start welding, so I literally have to blink my eyes every time, or else I actually get like a little bit of flash. It's so slow, and I've set all the settings max, and I can't get it to go any faster. It is a little bit better design for the $60 I paid for it or whatever. It ain't bad. I'm just going to keep it as a spare helmet. The problem with the Yes Welder is that this pad on the back here, I can't find a replacement for it. I have looked everywhere, short of actually going to and calling up Yes Welder. I can't find the thing. Now these pads on the front, they're just generic pads, more or less. They're actually different, but I just run a generic pad and it's fine. The last one I had, I just kept using those, and I took this pad off and it actually started to hurt the back of my head because the Velcro on it was really hard, but the pad was so disgusting I couldn't use it anymore. So I had to shelf this thing. Just not that great. So that's when I opted for this helmet. Definitely a better material. It's like more pliable. It moves a lot more, but it's a hell of a lot sturdier. And the interior controls are just freaking awesome. Make sure I can. Everything's digital in here. So you want to change your shade, you want to change your sensitivity, you want to change your delay, you want to change the mode. And the coolest thing I found is that, let's see if you can see this here. It has a light on it. So you can actually see what you're doing. The only thing I don't like is the light goes off when you're welding, which sometimes having that little extra light just helps a little bit, so I don't have to keep turning the shade down if I'm in a dark area. And you just turn it off. And then this button, if you hold that, it'll switch to grind mode, so you don't have to change your helmet or do anything when you're grinding. Haven't used it yet. But, so, anyway, let's get to welding. let's set this thing up and see how it looks. right, so I'm going to call this side done. I still got to paint it, but you can see all like the little welds in there. I welded up and along the top. I put some gussets in here to keep these from bending out. Put one in there. Then I welded up all the joints up in here. And I just spot welded on this side just a few points just so it wouldn't break loose this way. I have seen that happen before because the other side was welded but this side wasn't, and this is a lot thinner steel than this. This is like 16 gauge maybe I'm thinking 16, and I've seen welds break free and then this metal comes out, and so I thought it'd be smart just to put a few welds there. That's all welded up top. We're pretty much done with this. Just gonna get my clamps off of here. Just need to clean this. So I've been trying to get away from painting stuff for clients, stuff like this. Like the truck bed that I just did, I had that professionally painted. Actually, we did bed liner on that one. This kind of stuff is like kind of small for a painter, but it's kind of big for me. And the problem is I don't have a really good paint setup, and I don't really want to invest the time and money into doing it because it's not going to it doesn't make me any more money. So I'm going to do it for these guys. These guys throw me a lot of work, so I'm just going to suck it up and do it. But like for future stuff, I kind of like to throw it out to a painter and be like, hey, I got these sides. Can you throw a coat of paint on? Because he'll already have all the stuff set up and he can have it ready. And he can do it in probably 20, 30 minutes. It'll take me like $50 worth of spray cans and an hour and a half of my time. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes in the future. But for this time, I just got to throw some paint on it, and then this will be done. It is actually, it's pretty darn straight. It's pretty straight. And these guys are going to beat the hell out of it anyway, so the better I can make it, the longer it'll last. All right, let's get the other side done. And then I just got the spring clips in from Amazon. Brand new buyer spring clips. So I'm going to weld these spring clips a little bit further down than the originals because this hole is pretty worn out. So I'm going to drill a new hole here. So that's the plan with that. That bar that I have down there, I got to weld to the bottom of that. I got to take these stupid things off, which I got to, or probably should do because it actually feels a little treacherous walking on this thing to hop up into the bed. So anyway, let's get working on the other side and get this thing done. All right, we're back for day 2. So last night I just finished up building the other side. I didn't think I needed to film it since you kind of already seen that side. But we did the same thing on this. Put some gussets here and a gusset here. Got everything welded up. Did a little spot welds on this side, down there. So that's all pretty much done. The only thing I need to do that I still got to do is drill a little weep hole down here. So if you're not familiar with welding with square tube, if any moisture gets in this thing and freezes, it will actually expand it and it'll actually crack. It'll actually make this almost round. I've even seen it on really heavy steel, like on the back of dumpsters, where it's a rectangle tube and it's really thick. It's like 3 inches thick, but it'll actually bow it out to the point where the dumpster doesn't even close properly. So what I do is just a little hole here, and I'll just put a little hole here. So this is open to here, so any moisture that builds up in here can drain down here and then come out the weep hole. Since this one dead ends right up here, any moisture that collects will come out down there, and that should take care of that. So now we got to work on getting this door up here. So I got the new clips, so we need to somehow, I don't know how, but figure out how to hold that up to here so I can get an idea of where the clips need to go. So that will be the challenge for the moment. Once I get that up and the clips on, then I can weld the clips to here, hook it into that, and let the door hang, and then I can work on the hinges and everything. So if I use the original holes, it actually pushes the door out like 1/4 of an inch, so it doesn't fit tight up against there. And the door is pretty straight from what I can see. And the bed's pretty straight from what I can see. So I think it would be smart to drill a new hole, probably like down there, and see how that works out. It's just holding this thing up is a pain in the butt. Okay, well, I guess this is a little bit. So I'm looking at this, there's a gap over here. I can stick my finger in, the other side is completely flush. Meantime, I need to go outside and see if I can get this thing rebent. To be fair, I don't know how well this will work. It's actually better. Not great, but better. Well, let me give it one more go. I'm gonna leave you guys in here. It's too freaking cold outside. All right, let's see how this works. That's still tight, and that still sucks. This doesn't want to bend. Okay, we'll be back in a sec. All right, plan B. I can't get this thing straight, so I think I'm just going to cut this piece off and just put a whole new piece on and be done with it. I think it'll be smarter and it'll save me a lot of time. I cannot get this thing bent. I think it's just been bent so much over time that it wasn't an impact that it can be bent out. It's like just a constant pressure on it that just slowly bends it over time. And it's pretty thin steel, so I'm going to put something a little bit heavier. This isn't even square tube. This is literally bent metal to make a square. So it's not even formed like that. It's not even supposed to be like that. So I'm just going to take my saw, run it right across there, knock this piece out, and then I'm going to weld a new piece right to the bottom, and then from there I will weld I'll weld this into it, like under here, where I can put the hinges in. I don't have enough of this to go all the way across, so I'll just cut off a big chunk here, and then put a piece in the middle, piece on the end, and then weld a piece on each side to the actual bed to make like one long hinge, and it'll be perfect. So let me take this down and get this stupid piece cut off and see what happens. Okay, so evidently my camera didn't pick up me welding this thing. I thought I even had some good welding shots in there and measuring shots and all kinds of stuff, but whatever. It didn't pick it up. All of a sudden I heard it beeping. It turned itself off, which it does that after 15 minutes. So evidently 15 minutes of work have not been recorded. So here's where we're at. So as you can see, I have the new piece welded on, and I have put hinge pieces all the way down. There's 1, 2, 3. I'm just finishing up tacking them on. Once I get them tacked on, this tailgate will get hung up where it's supposed to be, and then I'll put the hinge piece through here. Once that's through there, then I can actually put the other side of the hinges that actually get welded to the truck over here and over there. So it all just has to be done in the right order so everything will line up properly. So let me get this finished up welding, and we'll hang it up and I'll show you everything I'm talking about. See if I can get some decent welding shots. Now, I don't know how good you can see this, but I don't know how good you can see this, but there's a little bit of a gap there, and I mean, it's kind of to be expected. This isn't, you know, 100% tight up against there. There is maybe a, I don't know, 3/16 of an inch. So what we'll do is I'll just take a little piece of metal, weld it behind there, and then weld that metal to this. We'll do that on both sides, and that will be the hinge, and that should hold it. Pretty freaking nice. Okay, so as you can see, everything is done. I welded the chains on here, used the hook that was already there. The only thing I have left to do is clean this thing up and throw some paint on it, and I think we're pretty much done. All right, she's done. Everything's painted. So just a quick recap. Put the sides on, put these gussets on. Use 1/8 inch thick steel, meshed it into the headache rack. Put this new piece on with a hinge. I put a little bit of weld on there, just keep them from sliding out. We did hinge pieces randomly throughout the bottom. Well, not randomly, but they're there. New spring clips, and same with the other side with the gussets meshed in with there. So there's the inside view. Painted it a little bit further, just so like when you're getting down low, you know, it looks kind of better, a little bit, kind of. And so that was it. And I always forget to put these on every project I do. So here it goes. There it is. All right, hopefully you enjoyed the video. I should be having some more coming out here soon. I'm busy, but not so busy that I can't film stuff right now. So hopefully get some better videos out to you. I just got something new in the garage today, a leaf vac. So I'll be putting a hitch on that for the guy. He's coming back for me to make some measurements. And I just got a new skid steer, new to me. So I'll be doing some work on that. So that'll be another video coming up here shortly. So thanks again. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. And it doesn't cost you anything, but it sure helps this channel grow. So thanks, and I'll see you on the next one.